Okay, everybody, this is Mr. C of Mr. C's Homeschool Music Academy. It is your guitar lesson, day number 4. Thank you very much for joining me, guys. As always, just wanted to remind you that the text, I should say, what I'm saying, the chat box, okay? You can type in a question, whatever it is, while we're doing our lesson. You can type in questions to find out whatever it is that you might be confused about, okay? First of all, it's 10:10. I'm 10:10 Eastern Standard Time. I'm a little bit late. I apologize for that. Okay. Previous class ran over, but however, we are here and we are ready to go. Okay. So once again, if you have any questions, any concerns, questions, or whatever regarding anything that we're learning during the guitar lesson, please by all means type on the chat box. I'm going to be watching. I'm going to be looking for any questions during our lesson, and this way I can answer them during the lesson. And if not, if you would rather wait till after the lesson to type your questions, okay, on the dashboard, that's fine too. You could definitely do that, and I will again answer those questions for you. Okay, first things first, I'm gonna write on the board. Okay, then very next thing, make sure you have your guitars. While I'm writing on the board, by the way, this will give you a good chance to make sure your guitars are tuned, okay? Remember that the strings are from low E, A, D, G, B, and high E, okay? So make sure that all your strings are tuned to those pitches, okay? Make sure you're handling them correctly, of course. I always say make sure you're grabbing them by the neck, okay? And get all that tuned up and ready to go while I write the new tablature, the new guitar tab on the board right behind me. Okay, we're going to be learning about we're going to be using A minor. Okay, we're going to add that to our pattern of chords that we've already done. So we've already done C major, we've done G major, and we've done F major. We're going to add A minor to that chord pattern, okay? And I'm going to show you how to play an A minor chord, okay? But take a look on the board. Also, while you're tuning, hopefully, if you haven't tuned your guitar, please do so right now, okay? So, our guitar, and you will find this, of course, on your practice chart as well. Our guitar the guitar tablature has 6 vertical lines, each representing the strings on the guitar. Okay. Then it has horizontal lines, the lines going across. Okay. We have the one on the very top, which is your nut, which represents your nut, which is the bold white. This one's black, but you get the picture. It's the thickest line going across, okay, as you can see. That represents your nut, okay? And then the other lines going across, those are your frets, okay? So those are your frets. Now, with the A minor chord, okay, I always do an uppercase A with a lowercase m, standing for minor, okay? Your A minor chord has your index finger on the B string, okay? While you have that, then you have your, let me see, middle finger on your G string between the 1st and 2nd fret. By the way, this is between the nut and the 1st fret, okay? Just kind of backtracking, index finger between the nut and the 1st fret, kind of like the C major chord, okay? Which A minor and C major are actually very closely related. And then you have your ring finger on the D string. Ring finger on the D string between the 1st and 2nd fret, okay, as well. So they're right close together there, okay? So make sure we have this set. You guys are understanding where you're supposed to be. So your index is on the B string. Between the nut and the 1st fret, middle finger on the G string between the 1st and 2nd fret, and then I'm going to come over here. I was going to get a good view, and then your ring finger between the 1st and 2nd fret on your D string. Okay, so there is your A minor chord, okay? Just so we remember again, this is your low E string, this is your A string, D string, G, B, and high E. Okay? So there we go. That is what your guitar tab will look like. Take a very good look once again, okay? 6 strings. If you ever needed to draw your own just to have a reference, okay, if you're writing this down, even if you're writing this down, again, notice how I did that. It's kind of just 6 vertical lines representing each string, okay? And then your line across, your thick line on top, which is your nut, then your 1st fret, 2nd fret, 3rd fret, those lines going across. We're staying within this range, even though there's other notes. And on the guitar neck, notice that there are other notes below that, okay? We'll definitely learn that later on, okay? But we're getting into our basics, of course, just kind of taking it one step at a time, okay? And that's where our finger placements should be, okay? Let's get right to our guitars. I'm going to take out my guitar now so that you guys can have a good visual reference of what we're doing, and we can start playing is all. Now, remember also, we're going to, I'm going to remind you of the strum pattern, okay? Putting together that strum pattern, the way we've been practicing that. You should have been practicing the other chords in the strum pattern. Adding the A minor chord to it is now going to make a difference, okay? Make a big difference in the way you play the entire pattern as a whole. And then, of course, utilizing, again, the strum pattern. It's down 4, up 4, down 2, up 2, all right? Let me lower my camera here. There we go. All right, I think that should be good for now. Okay, so here's my guitar. I'm just going to check my tuning, actually. I should say C major, G major, then F major. Excuse me. And now A minor. Okay, so what's A minor all about? Okay, so let's take again a very good look at what we're fretting, how our frets are going to be looking like. So take a look. Okay, my left hand right here. Make sure, again, technique-wise, you're cradling that, or you're supporting that the body of the guitar against yours with your right arm here. Your pick's handy. Okay, pointy side to skate. For strumming, using wrist. We're using more wrist than anything else, right? So our A minor chord has us with our index, according to that tablature that we just did, index on the B string. Here's my B string right here. It's kind of towards the bottom, especially if you have it in your left hand, okay? So B string over here between the nut and the 1st fret. That's the same thing that we usually do have for our C major chord. Now, our middle finger is going to go right over here. Excuse me, I'm gonna have to make a correction, guys. I knew there was something wrong by the way I wrote it on the tablature on the board. So we're gonna focus we're going to focus our attention to the tab again, and I'm going to make a correction. I apologize for this. I'm so sorry. I knew there was something wrong. But so instead of our middle finger being on the G string between the 1st and 2nd fret, it's actually our ring finger. Okay, and we're switching that. So our middle finger is actually going to go on the D string between the 1st and 2nd fret. That's where our middle finger shall be placed. See, I don't really know it. I mean, I know it, but I know it went better when I'm actually doing it, okay? And that's what music is about. It's about doing, okay? So we're going to switch that, okay? My mistake, everybody. Once again, your ring finger will be on your G string between 1st and 2nd fret. Middle finger will be on D string between first and second fret. So I want you to definitely fix that, because the other way would have been very uncomfortable. As I was doing it, I could see how uncomfortable it was. Well, the discomfort I was experiencing just now. I was like, whoa, that's not right. No. So let's look at this again. Take a look at my fingering. So let's put it into practice. We have our index finger already on the B string between the nut and the first fret. Okay, using those fingertips. Remember, fingertips, wrist pointed down. Okay, pointed out. I should say bent. Okay, so you have leverage over the strings, and that string should be touching the fretboard. Meanwhile, you're going to have your ring finger on your G string, okay? That's the fourth string from the top. G string right here with your ring finger, okay? That's where it should be. And your middle finger should be over here on your D string, also between first and second fret, being pressed down at the same time. And this is the way it should feel. Make sure your thumb is on the back of the neck for support. Okay, and then when you play an A minor, it should sound like this. Okay, everybody give me one good strum right there from the top all the way. This, and by the way, just so that we can make sure we know what we're looking at when it comes to our tablature. Okay, we have those, and I just said all the other strings get to be strummed, so that means the low E is an open string, your A is an open string, your high E is an open string. Okay, that's what those little circles mean above those lines, those vertical lines representing the strings. Those are your open strings. When it's open, that means they are played. They can be strummed. Along with, okay, now your B, G, and D string are not open strings, but they are fretted. Okay, they are fretted because each of them has a particular note. First of all, your index finger on your B string, when you're pressing down on that string between the nut and the first fret, that is your high C, okay? In fact, let's even explore those particular notes, okay? So that is your high C again. Here we go, index finger, and let's pick at the B string. That is your high C. Should sound like that. If you didn't have your finger there, it would just sound like a B. Sound like that. That would be the pitch, but your B string, once it's pressed, you have your high C, okay? Then if we were using our ring finger to press on that first fret, okay, right over here, between first and second fret on your G string, excuse me. Okay, that is your A note. Okay, that will be your A. Okay, so you can pick that right there, so you can see you can hear the difference. Here you go, ring finger again on your G string between first and second fret makes that your A note. Okay, and then your middle finger being on the D string between first and second fret, that is your E note. Okay. Yep, that is your E note. I'm just kind of double checking on the piano just to make sure I know what I'm talking about. Okay, that is your E note. Now, notice that the notes that we picked along with the open string, what are those notes that are involved in an A minor chord? We have our A minor chord is aptly named A, okay? So we have our A string that's an open string, our A note that we find between the first and second fret on your G string, that's your A note there, okay? So we have A, aptly named the A minor chord, okay? Then, not only that, we have our index, which is our C, okay? So far, for our A minor chord, if we're building our chord, we have A that's involved, our C, which is also involved, okay? Because of the index finger on the B string between the nut and the first fret, okay, we have our C. And then we have our E note that is not only on the D string between the first and second fret. When we press down on that with our middle finger, that's our E note. But not only that, we also have our high E and our low E. So all together, we have two A's. Just on the tablature, we have two A's being played, okay? we have one C, which is the meat of the chord, right? It's the middle chord. And then we have our three E's, low E, high E, and this middle E right there, okay? So we have A, C, and E. This is what makes up your A minor chord, okay? A being the root of the chord, okay? Which is why they named it an A minor chord, okay? But in order to make it minor, they made sure that the C stay a natural C, like a regular C, okay? So that, okay, it's not a C sharp or a C flat or anything like that. It's just regular old C, okay? So keeping it as A minor, okay? That is what makes the minor chord, A, C, and then E on top of that. Okay, so when A, C, and E are being played simultaneously, that is what makes our A minor chord. Okay, so good for us to know what's involved in that, right? So again, let's make sure we have our fingering here on our frets. Index finger, once again, goes between the nut and the first fret on your B string, just like that, using the tips of your fingers, right? Make sure your technique is good. Bend that wrist, okay? Press down firmly so that the string is touching the fretboard, okay? Then your middle string between the first and second fret. Between first and second fret, boom, okay? Middle finger on the G string, pressing down firmly on that. And oh no, sorry, not middle finger, ring finger, my mistake. Ring finger. See, I keep doing that. I don't know why. I never usually do that, I promise. But a ring finger right there. And then the middle finger between first and second fret, okay, on your D string to make the E note. So you have A, C, and E, okay, and then your open strings, low E, A, and high E, all being played at the same time, all involved in the A minor chord. Give me a strum right there, guys, again, making sure you got all three of those notes fretted, and strum it down once and go. Okay, that's the way it should feel. So now what we're going to do is strum pattern, down 4, up 4, down 2, up 2. Everybody get ready to do that. Here we go. And on my count, 1, 2, ready, let's play it. And down, 2, 3, 4, up 4 and up, 2, 3, 4, down 2, down 2 and up 2, up 2 and off. Okay, and then of course you want to mute that. You want to stop the strings from resonating. All you got to do is play some really quick. Just place your hand nice and gently on the strings. From doing that, everybody shake out your hands a little bit. You know, you're probably feeling a little bit tense there. Okay, tap on those fingers. Okay, if you've been practicing every day with the regimen of 10 times a day with that strum pattern and all those chords that we've done so far. Oh, excuse me. Okay, so if you've been doing that, okay, then you have been you notice that your finger strength is getting better, and you're building more tolerance to the pain that you get whenever when you press firmly on those strings with your fingertips. Okay, so you're definitely starting to get more tolerance when it comes to that. They're definitely getting sort of dry, sort of. For lack of a better word, kind of calloused, you know, just very hard. Your fingertips are becoming hard, okay? That sort of thing. Okay, that comes with the territory, okay? With much practice. I would say this, if that bothers you, you know, it doesn't necessarily bother me. You know, I kind of like the idea that they're getting firmer and they're getting harder because of all my playing. But for some people, maybe they're, you know, you're experiencing, oh, I wish they weren't so dry. I wish they didn't get so dry, or whatever the case may be. Then what you want to do is after you practice, not during, but after you practice, or not before, but after you finish practicing your guitar for a little while, you could put a little bit of lotion on those fingertips, you know, just to have some kind of moistness, you know, some people's skin tend to dry up a little bit more than others, you know, and so that might be kind of disturbing when it comes to your fingers, you know. Mine doesn't happen to be like that. They do dry, but they're not as visible as some others. Okay, so it just depends, your preference. So if you want, then make sure after you practice, get some lotion, put up Vaseline, whatever you use for your skin, put it on those fingertips, okay, and let it soak in there and things like that, okay. But don't do it. But I said specifically, don't do it before practice, okay. You don't want to be too slippery on those strings, okay. That's what tends to happen. I've had students that they put lotion on their hands on a regular basis, and then they always found it more difficult to be specific when it came to those strings. They would be sliding and slipping around, and it's very hard for them to really stay, to really to get a good handle on their technique and their precision on their chords. Okay, so the last thing you want is to be slippery. Too much lotion being slippery on those strings. Okay, so lotion it up after you practice, not before, but after you practice. You want to definitely you want to sort of maintain that dryness so that you can have to practice. But then when you're done practicing, that is 10 times a day that I talked about, just add some lotion on there, Vaseline, whatever it is that you do, okay? And do it on those fingertips, and then, but not before you practice, okay? Make sure you don't do that. Okay, so let's do our A minor chord one more time. A minor chord one more time, doing in the strum pattern, okay? And then we're gonna put it all together. Then we're gonna go back to our previous chords. C major, G major, F major. We're gonna add in A minor, and then end back on a C major. That's how we're going to do that, okay? So watch this. Everybody, once again, let's make sure we have those correct finger positions. B string between the nut and the first fret. There's our index finger. Make sure you have your index finger there, okay? In your ring finger, go between the first and the second fret. Go to your G string. There's your ring finger, and then your middle finger, also between first and second fret on your D string, right above the G string. Your D string is right there, and there is where you should have, let's take a good look there. That's pretty much where you should have all your fingers positioned, okay? But again, with a bent wrist and pressing firmly down on those strings so that you have a good resonant A minor chord, okay? Let's do that together, guys. 4 down, 4 up, down 2, up 2 on my count. 1. Oh, and make sure your posture is good. I keep forgetting to tell you guys that. Sit up nice and straight, shoulders relaxed, and strum, okay? By the way, make sure when you're using a chair, I think I've said it before, make sure there's no arms on the chair so it doesn't get in the way of your guitar and your posture and all of that. Make sure you have a bench. Armless chair. An armless chair is good, or a bench. A piano bench, a stool, even a stool would be good, okay? But make sure there's no arms on that chair when you're seated, and make sure, again, your posture is good. Seated up straight, shoulders relaxed. If you're on the short side and your feet are kind of dangling on the floor, okay, because your feet can't reach, because I prefer your feet stay balanced, okay, on your foundation, so your feet stay flat on the floor. If you can't reach the floor and you're on the short side, however, make sure you just, maybe you just need to make an adjustment. Move your bottom to the front edge of the chair, okay, or stool or whatever you have there, and this way till your feet touch the ground. If you're too short to do that, if you're still a little too short on the short side, okay, as long as you're sitting up straight, that'll be good. If you can get a footstool there just to kind of keep balance there, then you could do that too. That'll definitely work, okay? So here we go. On my count, strum pattern. 1, 2, and ready. Let's play it and go. And down, 2, 3, 4, up 4 and up. 2, 3, 4, down 2 and down. 2 and up 2, up, 2 and off. Okay, shake out those hands. Okay, touch those fingertips. Okay, if you're getting sore or whatever. Okay. If you're not quite getting the sound yet, if you're at a point where, yeah, you're putting all your fingers, you're remembering where to put your fingers, but you're still not getting the correct sound of those chords, C major, G major, F major, and A minor. If you're not getting the correct sound of all those chords, okay, what you want to do is, as you're playing, as you're strumming through, make sure you're just making adjustments as you go along. Just make adjustments as you go along. Don't. Let's put it this way: don't let go and then start over again. While you're strumming, try to make your adjustments. It could be your wrist is too bent inward, okay, and it's not this. It could be that you're using. It could be that when you're placing your fingers on the strings, you're using this part of the tips instead of the very tips before the nail. Then make that adjustment too, okay? But do the adjustments as you're strumming. Let's put it that way. Do the adjustments as you're strumming. So what do I mean by that? So when we're about to do this strum pattern, and along with the chord pattern, adding A minor to it, right? You might be, take a look. I'm going to do it wrong on purpose. You might be here and you're doing this. Oh, it doesn't sound right while you're strumming. Okay, so while you're strumming, maybe, as you're strumming the down four, you might go like this a little bit. And then once you do that, then you'll hear the difference, okay? But make the adjustment as you're doing the actual strum pattern through the entire chord pattern, as you practice, as we do it together. The reason being is because you don't want to completely take your fingers off and then start again, because what's going to happen is you're not going to get past the point where you're having your fingers by muscle motor memory understand how they're supposed to be. Okay, you could, it could sound like this, and then you go like oh, and then you come back, and then then you probably do something similar. Oh no, that's worse than before. Let me take it back. It actually, and it's not about saving time so much as your fingers are where they're supposed to be. It's just how you have them positioned is not quite. Making the adjustment while you're strumming, making that adjustment while you're strumming allows your fingers to remember, because again, it's muscle motor memory. It's about feeling. It's the sense of touch that we're guided by. It's when it comes to music, it's the sense of touch and the sense of hearing. Okay, so we know what something sounds like when we're in the wrong finger. When we have that wrong position, and we just make that adjustment though, then your fingers are still apt to remember where to go. If you have to take them off and then put them back on again, well, then it will take longer for your fingers to get adjusted the way they need to be. It'll take longer for you to get how you're supposed to have your fingers positioned on there, because it's too much releasing and coming back, too much release. Okay, when you're playing and it's not sounding right, make the adjustment as you're playing. Do that, and then you'll have a better chance of remembering, so that when you play, of your muscle motor memory, I should say, kicking in, so that the next time you play and you want to get it on the first try, there it is. You see what I mean? There it is. Okay, so I want to make sure that you guys have that understanding that the adjustments should be made while you're strumming, while you're doing your repetitive practice. Okay, you're not getting it right then and there. Don't take it off necessarily. Take it, make the adjustment as you're playing. Okay, get through it. Get through the repetition, and then take it off. Take a little break. Go like this, and then come back and do the repetition again. But again, make the adjustment on your fingering while you're doing the strumming, as opposed to taking it off and then putting it back on, taking it off. You see the idea? That's what we don't want. That's how you're definitely going to get more progress out of your playing. Okay, I'm just double checking any in the comment section. If you no questions as of yet. Okay, that's okay. But again, if you have any questions while we're here, please, by all means, ask away. All right. Okay, guys. So now let's get our chord pattern going. Okay, let's go right to the C major. Okay, so remember C major, index on the B string between nut and first fret. Middle finger is going to go on your D string between first and second fret, but ring finger now is going to go on your A string between the second and third fret. So here's our C major. Okay, strum it once. Okay, just so that we have it. G major, reviewing chords, G major index between first and second fret on your A string, but then you have your on your low E string, middle finger between second and third fret, and on your high E string, ring finger between second and third fret. There's your G major chord. That will be next in the chord pattern. Then you have your index finger back on the B string between nut and first fret, while you have middle finger coming down to your G string first and second fret, and your A string between second and third fret. Remember, your low E and your high E string are closed strings, so you're not strumming those. You're strumming from your A string. Take a look on the body here. Your A string to your B string. Okay, so pressing firmly, and this is your F major chord. Okay, and then you're going to keep your index finger right where it is on the B string. You're going to move your middle and ring finger, where your middle is on your your D string first and second fret, ring finger on your G string first and second fret. Index finger stays right where it is. Strum all the strings for your A minor chord. Okay, and then from there you go back to C major. And then we end. Okay, so let's do it together, guys. Here we go. Start on your C major chord and strum pattern all the way through. All the chords, strum pattern. Down 4, up 4, down 2, up 2. On my count, everybody. Posture. And here we go. 1, 2, and ready. Let's play C major. Down 2, 3, 4, and up 4. Up 2, 3, 4. Down 2 and down 2 and up 2. Up 2. Now go to your G major and down 2, 3, 4. Up 4 and up 2, 3, 4. Down 2, down 2 and up 2. Up 2. Now F major and down 2, 3, 4 and up 4. Up 2, 3, 4. Down 2, down 2 and up 2. Up 2. And now A minor. And here we go. Last chord. Down 2, 3, 4 and up 4. Up 2, 3, 4. Down 2, down 2 and up 2. Up 2. Now back to C major. From A minor to C major, all you got to do is place your ring finger. Just move your ring finger from the G string and move it over to your A string, second and third fret. Middle finger and index finger stay right where they are, and down 2, 3, 4 and up 4. Up 2, 3, 4. Down 2, down 2 and up 2. Up 2 and off. And that's it. Shake them out, guys. Shake them out. I'm sure feeling you've been holding it for a long time. Okay, tap on your fingertips there. Get that feeling back. Okay. And guys, great job. That was our chord pattern, our new chord pattern with the A minor additive there. Okay. Make sure you practice with your A minor. Again, it should go from C major, G major, F major, A minor, back to C major, okay? Doing it all on a strum pattern, down 4, up 4, down 2, up 2, okay? 10 times a day, no more, no less. Practice. You guys will be having a practice sheet very soon. Watch out for it on the dashboard, okay, with this A minor chord additive, okay, and a reminder to practice your strum pattern throughout all those chords, okay? Great job once again, everybody. Give yourselves a nice little round of applause. Great job. And if there are no other, I'm checking again my comment set box. No questions whatsoever. Anybody? No? Okay. All right. Well, if you still have a question and if you're in the middle of typing it right now, I will definitely receive it still. Don't worry. I'll still definitely receive it even after I end the stream here. Okay. And we will continue next week. Another lesson. Okay. Guys, great job once again. And as always, I wish you happy practicing. Everyone take care and have yourselves a great and wonderful day. Bye-bye, guys.